Today, we're going to talk about health FOMO is real.
So real.
So real. Welcome back to the Battle Ready podcast. This is Dr. Kalie, and I'm here with...
Molly.
What up, though?
What up?
This is episode 2. Are you
Not a
so
doctor.
pumped? You don't have to be a doctor. You know, a doctor just means teacher.
Yeah.
You can be a teacher.
Okay. Call me Mrs. Roberts as well.
Mrs. Roberts.
Mrs. Roberts.
Let's
Stick with Molly.
Dr. Kalie and Mrs. Roberts.
Ugh, don't like that.
Weird.
It's too matronly.
One time. What do you want to talk about today?
I've been thinking about a lot of different things, but the health FOMO that exists in our society.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about that?
I have.
Okay, let's hear it.
So what I'm thinking about, like the premise of this entire episode, this topic is like thinking you have to do all the things in order to be healthy. And like you have to spend thousands of dollars in order to experience this like euphoric state.
Yeah.
Or take the psychedelics or whatever it is, right? Like you look at like social media influencers and they're all like, do this thing and you're going to get this. And I'm guilty of it too. Like I have a lot of the things. I do them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, did that even do anything for me? Do I feel any different? Like if I didn't have any of this stuff, would I feel any different? So basically walk them through like what we're talking about. Like what is the like, what do we mean when we talk about FOMO?
Well, we are so inundated with like so much information with social media, and I think health is like holistic health is becoming more popular to talk about, and it's kind of like destigmatized a little bit about some just more natural ways to boost your health. But with that obviously comes, you know, the pressures of it. Like, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What should I be doing? Am I doing enough? And then just like the millions of different contraptions and things that you can buy and use, and that it's easy to feel like you're not doing enough, I think. So trying to find that middle ground has been a challenge for me and something that I work on. But yeah, I think it's worth talking about for sure.
So when we're talking about this, we're talking about even thinking about like you're not good enough. Like
Yeah.
maybe you're the one in the friend group that doesn't have the thing or doesn't go to the place or I mean even with that, like I'm a chiropractor. When we talked about this in the last episode, first time we met, like you were one of the only people in the group that wasn't in my office. Right. So there's a piece of FOMO there. Like,
Sure.
What is Molly missing out on? And why are all these people going to this stranger?
Yeah.
And what does she have that all the other chiropractors don't have?
Yeah. A lot is the answer.
Yeah, that's right. You know, there's a level of like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the like higher end things is like doing IV treatments just for fun. Are they good for you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. You've got glutathione, you've got vitamin B, you've got vitamin C, high doses, other things in there too.
Yeah.
Are they good for you? It's even that, like it even depends on like who you talk to. Like some people say like too high dose is not always good. Taking it intravenously is not good for long term. Some people say like this is what changed my life. I've had people that are cancer patients that are going and doing IV vitamin C and seeing incredible results. So have you ever done IVs?
I have not.
Never?
No, never. But I've been interested
They're
for quite
fun.
some time. Yeah. Do you do them regularly?
I like when I'm training for my
Yeah.
Ironman stuff, I will go towards the like tail end of training, towards the, like closer to race day because the volume usually increases. So I'm trying to like allow my body to repair.
Yeah.
But it is pretty expensive.
I can imagine.
It's like, I don't remember. It's either $150 or $250 each time you go. I think it's $150.
Yeah.
Which like if you're going a couple times a week or even once a week,
Adds up.
it adds up, right? So yeah, I know I've done it during like my Ironman training seasons. I feel like I've recovered better. I don't know if I've seen like a ton of benefit from it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't do it consistently enough. Have you ever been on a health retreat?
I have not.
Never?
No. I've heard about
Is that
them.
something that you would want to do?
Yes, I was thinking about going on one last year. I have a friend who kind of like hosts retreats sometimes, and I think this one was going to be in like Costa Rica or somewhere really cool.
What is it, like a yoga retreat or
No,
like a...
it's kind of just like a holistic. I think this one was it was for women only, the one that she was hosting, and so just a lot of talk about fertility and hormones, but also somewhere where you can be outside in nature, so like a lot of grounding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little bit of a spiritual aspect there, getting away from, the normal hustle and bustle, and just kind of like a really specific time for some healing, some journaling, self-reflection, stuff like that. So
I
I've been
would love
interested.
to host one of those.
You would be the perfect
I think it would be
person
so
to host
fun.
one. Yeah,
Like-
where would you want to host it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like a different country, or like
I don't know if it has to be a different country. I love mountains.
Yeah, me too.
Like when you talk about like what recharges you more,
Yeah.
beach or mountains. I love the beach, but I really, really love the mountains.
Wow.
I love being out in the woods and like being in nature, and so I would do both, but I think I would lean towards like the mountain aspect of like, let's go get a cabin in the woods, and like
love it.
I mean you can have 10 people there
Yeah.
and have an effective retreat. Like I'm thinking like smoothies in the morning and like a delicious lunch, delicious breakfast, and like I get to do the cooking for people, and like watching them go out and do some like a morning routine and like work through that with people and teach people how to journal and how to even like time management. Like people don't know how to do. We might have a host on here eventually to do like war planning and working through like how to plan out your week. I don't think people do that enough. And so I would love that's on my like vision board in the next 5 years to do that kind of a thing.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
First on the wait list.
Yeah, so I've done a retreat in the past. It's like 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that, probably like 13 years ago now. I did a yoga retreat
Oh, fun.
in Aruba,
Wow,
which
beautiful.
was delish.
Yeah, I bet.
It was so fun. It was like a week long and just a fun experience. There wasn't like too many people there, so you get to like mingle with everybody and become friends with them. So
That's fun.
yeah, a huge fan of those things.
I'm into it.
What's your most favorite health gadget that you have, and what's the biggest health gadget that you want to have?
You might know the answer to the one that I want
think
to have.
I
I think
do.
I've sent it to you before. But the one that I have, I don't have a lot of like really high tech stuff, but I guess just my little red light panel
Okay.
that I have. I want to get a better one, but the one that I have, when I'm intentional about using it, like I feel a difference. And even just hanging out in my room, just
With it on.
with it on is
Changes.
such a vibe. And I do feel like it helps. But the one that I would love to have is like a full bed. It looks like a pod. I don't remember the name. It's Da Vinci is the name of the company. But it's red light. It's like a vibe plate that you're laying on. It's like sauna. It's infrared sauna. So it just has everything. It's like $40,000. Chump change. But the gym that I went to previously before it closed had one. So I like got addicted to that. And sometimes I would just go to the gym to hang out in the bed in like the recovery room. They had a massage like table and stuff. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's on my wish list for sure. And I need to find one somewhere that I can just go use it.
I love those types of things.
Yeah, I know you have some gadgets of your own. Talk about
I do.
it.
I have some gadgets. I am a gadget queen. I love like gadgets, whether it be like technology things or
Right.
like get healthy things.
Yeah.
We went through a journey the last couple years. My mom got diagnosed with bladder cancer, and that kind of led me even deeper into the journey of all of this. And so, like to start small, I have a rebounder. I have a vibration platform. I do have red lights. I have a few different panels. Kind of excessively overboard, actually, but it's okay. That's kind of how I am.
Yeah.
I have a sauna, which I've had that for like 7 years or something.
Yeah.
Sorry. I love that. I have recently just got a cold plunge about a year ago.
Love it.
For Christmas. And I also have an oxygen chamber.
Yeah.
That I so love.
I know. I want to use that.
So yeah, we are going to just dive into those types of things and
Cool.
also some other like supplements to take and things you've tried and like things that didn't work out too well and funny stories that you have. One time, can I start with a funny story?
Please.
Okay, so one time, this was like, this was probably like 13 years ago. So I'm like pretty fresh out of school. And we do a community dinner or at the time it was every single month we did a community dinner. And this was at a local restaurant, not the one that we currently do it at. And we would sort of advertise it on Facebook, but like it wasn't as popular to do that yet. So I am getting ready to do this dinner and I would do the talk, and this random woman who's not a patient of mine comes up to me. So she's not even a guest of a patient. I don't know where she came from. And she goes, "Hi, this is after the talk. She's like, "Hi, excuse me. Would you ever be interested in doing a fecal transplant?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And this is like before I got into any of this like stuff. Okay, so I'm like, "No, absolutely not. I would not.
Excuse
Like,
you?
what are you talking about?" And she's like, "No, like this is a thing where like all you have to do is collect a sample of your poo, and then you give it to me, and then I put it up my rectum because your microbiome would then correct my microbiome."
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't even know me. She's like, "Yeah, but you have to be healthy." I'm like, you don't know that. Like, you don't know what my microbiome is. You don't know what, like, just because I'm like, no. And also like, no.
No.
Which I didn't know anything about that, but now it's like become more of a mainstream-ish
I've heard of it,
thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
I still think my answer would be no for that.
Not right now.
I'm still on a hot note for that. So
Yeah.
that's one of my like favorite what went wrong here situation. Do you have any fails stories?
Maybe some happy accidents.
Okay.
Or like, I don't know, a fail? I don't know that I really have any fails. So like I've done parasite cleanses just like here and there. I try to do like a couple a month. And there were some times where I was taking some anti-parasitic like things, and I didn't really fully know about like the binders and like prepping your, detox pathways and stuff. So I just like went full in.
Do it.
And I felt so crappy like during that time because I didn't really know what I was doing, but now I know what I'm doing and they're actually like super effective. But yeah, I would like have migraines and just be so tired. And so do your research before you do anything and actually know what you're getting yourself into,
I had somebody also tell me once that if you take niacin, which is a B vitamin, if you take niacin before you get in the sauna, it helps to detox your body. It like opens up the pathways, opens up. So I skipped the sauna part and I was like, well, I'm just going to take the niacin. And I didn't know anything about niacin at the time. And so then I'm like sitting outside and like all of a sudden I get that like flush happen. Like my whole body starts burning. My neck starts burning, and then you just get this. Have you ever taken niacin? Oh my gosh! So then you get this like flush that happens. So then your whole body turns red, and everything starts itching. I thought I was like dying from an allergic reaction. I called my brother, and I was like, "Why is this happening?"
Whoa.
And he was like, "You're having a niacin like flush reaction. It's like a normal thing."
Yeah. Okay.
So if you ever have taken niacin and or plan to in the future, that it's also supposed to help you stop smoking, I think, too.
Really?
That's another piece of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I know it's good for ducks.
ducks?
Yeah, we had ducks for a short time.
You and Tom, or you and like
Oh,
your
we'll just
family?
say I did, and Tom was just an
Tom was
innocent.
there. Poor Tom.
He's always just an innocent bystander. But
Tom's going to be like our character that just pops in
yeah, Tom and
on
Roy.
our conversation. Roy,
We'll
I can't wait
introduce
for you
him.
guys to
We'll
meet Roy
introduce-
sometime.
He'll come sometime.
Roy is the best.
Roy's the best. He knows a lot about a lot of different things.
He does.
Yeah, he's lived many lives. Yeah.
So talk to me about niacin and ducks.
I don't really remember. We had ducks for such a short amount of time, then we had to get rid of them because they're
At this house that you have now?
Yeah.
So this is recent.
Yeah, it was, and then I don't know, like a year and a half ago. But something about like some deficiency that the ducks can get pretty easily, and the niacin kind of supplements that in such a way. So I have I have like a tub of like powdered niacin. So maybe I'll take it the next time I go in the sauna if I'm feeling adventurous. Maybe not.
Just be
ready.
Take it outside of the sauna first,
Mm-hmm.
and just see what your body experiences.
Okay. I'm a little scared, but
Yeah.
I'll try anything once. See how it goes.
Let's see here. Did you know that practicing gratitude for just 5 minutes a day can lower your cortisol levels and reduce anxiety more effectively than relaxation supplements.
I didn't know that, but
I didn't know that either.
that shakes out.
Yeah.
That really makes sense.
And then also another did you know. Do you guys let us know if you like these did you knows? We're trying to find some things that we can do consistently. So I'm shooting from the hip here. Did you know that regular walks, even as short as 10 minutes, have been shown to reduce cortisol, improve blood pressure, making both of them just as effective as stress relief gadgets? And so I wanted to put that in there because I think that you don't always have to spend the money in order to get the results.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think people focus on going for a walk is not as good as getting a vibration platform and standing on it for 20 minutes. When, it is. It's just affecting things differently. All right, so let's walk through some things that we absolutely both love. Let's start with the red light. What made you get a red light in the first place? Is it a specific brand? Where are you at with that?
It was the best one I could find on Amazon.
Okay.
And since then, you've sent me much better brands. So I want to get the EMR Tech one, and that's a goal of mine. But I like the red light. I think when I first started researching it, it was kind of simulating sunrise and sunset and the natural circadian rhythm. And so trying to use that in the beginning, if I wake up extra earlier, if I'm going to bed at a decent time, I try to kind of especially in the winter when we just need all the help we can get with our circadian rhythm and whatnot. So, and then the anti-aging effects just on the skin and cell regeneration and stuff like that. I don't know.
Good job.
I'm learning.
It's okay. It's
learning
good.
from you.
I think it's good.
So, but you love the red light too.
I do love the red light. I I started with, I have 3 different brands that I have. I started with Joovv, Jovv, or Joovv. I don't know how to spell it. I got a small panel. It was the smallest one that they had at the time. That wasn't the handheld one. I got that 4 or 5 years ago or something. And I loved it. But then I was like, okay, I want to have a full body panel. So then I shifted over to Platinum LED, which is another company. And it does red light, and then it also does near infrared or far infrared. There's 2 different settings that are on there. So you're getting benefits from 2 different things.
Nice.
So you'll see when you look at the panel, it'll look like some of the lights aren't on, but they actually are. It's just not red light bulbs.
Oh, interesting.
It's doing another thing, and I can't remember what it was. It's either far or near infrared.
Okay.
And then I got the EMR Tech brand, which originally I got it because for my mom, it was just a square one that she could set on her lap and shoot towards her belly.
Yeah.
So that's how I found that company, because it's a bit more powerful. And then I think last year I started reorganizing and resetting my basement to become a workout space, and also a place where I go to do my therapies. Because my mom, one of the rooms upstairs is where she does her therapies, and we were trying to do them at the same time, and it's just not conducive.
Yeah.
For my timing and schedule and things. So anyway, I got a bigger EMR Tech one, and I think out of the 3, I think that one is my favorite.
Yeah. What are some of the immediate effects that you feel after you do a session of it? And when do you kind of try to do them?
I do them typically in the morning, and that's when I'm doing my meditation is when I'm also doing the red light.
I love that.
So I will sit in front of the red light and do what I need to do. I usually do it for about 30 plus minutes. So I'll reset the timer.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think that I see immediately I can feel a bit more energized. I do also get comments that I'm tan, but I don't.
Yeah, but you don't.
There's
go
no
tanning.
tanning effect from that.
You do. Yeah, you do always have kind of
but
a glow.
I think that most of it is coming from the red light, because it's on. It's a time if I full disclosure, I do go tanning, but it's once a month I'll go, and it's not when I've gone recently tanning. Somebody will say I'll have oh my gosh, you look tan. And it'll happen 3 people in a row on the same day.
Huh. Interesting.
So I think you get some level of a tanning effect, even although it's not officially. Anyway.
Yeah, cool.
improves your skin. So if I ever get like a blemish or something on my skin, then I'll make sure that I like really focus and be intentional on like making sure my skin gets red light on there. Helps with wrinkles, aging, all of that stuff. I'm going to be 39 in a few days, like a month from now ish. And aging is aging, right? So like I have wrinkles in places where I didn't. Like I have creases in my forehead and like things on my mouth. Like most people wouldn't know that, but like I see my face every single day. So I'm like trying
We're
to
our
like
own worst critic.
Yeah. So I see that stuff in the mirror. I think that the red light helps with that when I am more consistent. EMR Tech has like a serum that they sell as well that I'll get every so often and use that. I think that helps with the aging of skin as well.
Very cool.
But it really, the big thing is like an internal thing that you can't really see is mitochondrial function. So your mitochondria is like your powerhouse of your cell. It's the thing that makes everything work and do what it's supposed to be doing, and it's like it's the powerhouse. It's like the battery inside your body. And so when you're doing the red light, essentially what you can think about is like plugging your iPhone into the wall to get recharged. That's what like sitting in front of the red light does for you.
Yeah.
So beyond like the beauty aspects of it, like cellular health is part of that too.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
It's supposed to help regulate with your moods and also sleep cycles.
Yeah.
They say you can do it in the morning or in the evening, and depending upon when you do it, it's going to be beneficial.
Okay.
So if you do it in the morning time, it will help you wake up. But if you do it in the evening time, it actually helps you regulate your sleep better and have more deep sleep. So it's interesting how your body can like tell the difference with that. I don't tend to do it at night very often. It's mostly in the morning. I have one in my bathroom too, the Juve, the original one that I'll turn on while I'm getting ready for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's just in there.
Yeah.
I like that. I like to have that on there. So I'm going to create a like biohacking list with links and codes that people can use because I just think it's super beneficial. Like the EMR Tech, the code is Dr. Kalie when you go to checkout, and you'll get 30% off, which I think is a huge amount.
Major.
So I just had another friend just purchase one, and she's like, I had no idea I was going to get that much of a discount. So
That's awesome.
kind of a big deal. Any other red light comments, questions, concerns, issues?
They're pretty like prolific in the beauty industry. Like people actually, my brother just bought like a mask.
Okay, yeah. From like Therabody or something?
I'll have to double check what he sent me, but he bought the robot looking mask, and just like we were talking about the anti-aging benefits and stuff like that for your skin. So
I have been getting Instagram attacked by the ads for that.
yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like a million different
Specifically
brands.
the Therabody one, I haven't got. I have like gone to the website and had it in the cart, and then like I have like rationalized with myself, like, wait a second, this would be your like 5th red light thing. Like you have enough, right? Like there's also like a point where it becomes like, is this an addiction? Like just thinking like I need to have more.
Yeah.
So you might need to like pump the brakes on some of the stuff that you're doing
Yes.
too.
Proceed with caution.
Yes. Saunas.
Sauna.
How do you feel about the sauna?
I love the sauna.
The sauna.
I love it.
Tell me why.
I love it for the detoxification of it, and I always feel energized after a sauna. Unless I do it for a little bit too long, then I think it's like really kind of like more heavy detox happening. But if I'm doing it like at the gym, I try to just do it like 45 minutes, like get a good sweat on. So I really do feel energized after I do the sauna.
Do you know the difference between near infrared and far infrared?
I don't know the difference. I know that the red light that I bought is far infrared.
Okay. Yep.
But maybe you could enlighten me a little bit about the near and far.
So the far infrared, which is where like if you're searching for a sauna to purchase or go use, that would be the better one to use.
Okay.
You want to think of it as like cooking you from the inside out, right? So it like penetrates deeply into the cell, so it gets to your core and heats you up from the core, rather than near infrared is going to heat from like more of like the skin.
Okay.
So if you've got wounds that you need to heal, or if you have any like skin issues or anything like that, the near infrared is going to be the one that you want to like shoot for.
Got it.
Far infrared will be beneficial too, but that's going to be more surfacey.
Noted.
The far infrared is going to be where you get that like deep sweat. That like you sit there and it's just like all of a sudden you start just sweating. That happens like 10 minutes into it for me.
Yeah.
I usually do my sauna between like 140 and 150 degrees.
Okay.
And I do it for about 20 to 45 minutes, depending on my time frame that I have available.
Yeah.
And that's going to help really like activate your liver detoxification and start getting some heavy metals out. A good thing to pair if you are doing this like consistently and you know that you're like you need to go through a detox would be like activated charcoal at night.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is like the heavy metals and the detox are going to start coming out of the cells. So you have, every cell has a lipid bilayer. So it's 2 layers of fat. Toxins like to go get stuck into the fat cells. And the reason why they get stuck into the fat cells is because it's safer there. It's safer for toxins to be in your fat cells than it is to be in like your heart or your lung or basically it's like your body's way of preventing you from developing disease and cancer and things like that.
Wow.
Super smart.
Yeah.
Our bodies are so smart. Yeah. Which is another reason why if you're having an issue with like weight loss resistance or like I work out at the gym, I eat well, I'm gaining weight and not losing weight, like what is happening with me? You might be like living in a toxic overload and your body's like putting toxins into fat. So I think of it as like, I'm very picture oriented. So I think of it as like, you ever done a Chinese finger trap?
Yeah.
Where you like, the more you go in, the harder it is to get out. So same kind of concept with toxins. Like if you get a toxin that goes into the cell, the deeper it goes in or the longer it stays there, it doesn't want to come out because it makes this like cozy home. So we have like our detox system at our office. We have a cell detox and the body detox. The cell detox is going to help to open up that cell and rip the toxins out. It's also good to have like a good omega-3 while you're doing some sort of a detox process because putting good fats into your body will help the lipid bilayers to release the toxins.
Okay.
And then in the evening, you want to do the glutathione at night or a couple hours after you do a sauna session because then as the toxins get released from the fat cells, you'll be able to collect and then expel the toxins with that. So
it's important. Yeah. I think like I said, like the binder thing, the charcoal or whatever you're using, it's important to, get it out of your body.
Get it out of your body.
Like
That's the difference between like a detox and a cleanse.
Right.
So a cleanse, you can like get toxins out of your gut. You can even get toxins out of your cells. But what happens is they just get rehoused somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if you're not detoxing them and getting them out of your body, then they're still just floating around in your body. They just found a home somewhere else. So it's almost like safer to keep them in the fat cells where they are until you're ready to go through the detox process.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. How do you feel about cold plunges and cold exposure?
I hate being cold. Like, I really hate being cold. I can take being hot, like in a sauna, but I think I've done one cold plunge, and it might have just been me, like, going into Lake Michigan in June or something. Like, I considered that a cold plunge for me.
In the middle of August, I was in...
Have you been in Lake Michigan in June, like the beginning of June? It's hot outside. It's not warm in the lake whatsoever.
I did a triathlon in Chicago, and we swam in Lake Michigan.
Yeah. Did you wear a wetsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this was and that was in August.
Okay.
July or August. So
it's cold. It's a big lake. It's like low ocean there. So no, I've never done like an ice plunge or anything. I know there's a lot of good, evidence as to why it's good for the body, but I just haven't been able to get there.
Yeah.
I'm interested though. I'm interested.
Yeah. There is a woman that I follow. Her name is Stacy Sims. She talks a lot about women's hormones and did you know that when they do like scientific research, they typically do them on male people and not females, which is changing more recently, but
Yeah.
like previously all science is done on males.
Gosh, why is that?
Because our cycle, it makes us unpredictable. So
Okay.
like our hormones fluctuate and they change throughout the month.
Yeah.
So like a male, like they're pretty much like stable.
Yeah. Interesting.
So our cycles change, which when it comes to like something like a cold plunge, men and women should be doing them at different temperatures.
Okay.
Men can go lower, but I'm getting this information from her, something that she's published before. And so she talks about women doing cold plunges closer to like 50 degrees,
Okay.
and men can go down into the like low 40s, high 30s. And when women do that, it starts to mess with our hormones. So someone who's in like a perimenopause, menopause state where things are already like wreaking havoc, you want to stick, like mine at home is set to 52 degrees. And I don't plan on going any lower than that. That is hard enough for me and as it is. Like
Yeah.
I don't love being cold. I am okay like not being cold, but I also know the benefits of that. So there's a difference with like brown fat. There's like different color fats, like white fats, brown fats, and when you do the cold plunge, it changes your fats from brown to white, I think it is.
Okay.
Or maybe it's vice versa. We'll come up and give you some clarity on that at some point. Yeah, so it'll help you actually burn fat better and changes the fat ratio for you too. So
Interesting.
regulates your hormones and all of that as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah, I love that.
we're going to get you in the cold plunge.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm ready for it now.
Yeah.
I just need a little push. That's all.
I have to like psych myself into doing it. Even when I like get into it, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this isn't what I want to be doing right now.
How long do you stay in there?
It's like 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Is the max. Like sometimes I'll just do a minute.
Yeah.
What I've been liking to do recently is more of like contrast therapy. So I'll do like a 15-minute sauna session, and then I'll go in and do 3-minute cold plunge, 5-minute sauna, 2-minute cold plunge, 5-minute sauna, 1-minute cold plunge.
Wow.
You always want to end on cold
Okay.
because it'll help your cortisol levels and estrogen, testosterone, and hormones that you need to like function.
Okay.
So ending on cold is the ideal. Then I'll go take a shower, and I won't put it as hot as I normally do.
Yeah.
It'll still be kind of warm, but not like super hot shower.
Got
So,
it. And on the cold.
fun fact.
Yeah. Good to know.
Research shows that cold water immersion can increase norepinephrine, which we talked about that a lot on the last episode, so you can go and listen to that. It increases it by 200 to 300%, which helps to reduce brain fog and improves your resilience to stress. So
Okay.
there's a little fun fact about that.
Nice.
Another thing that I love is my pulse electromagnetic field mat. I get this from Healthy Line, and I don't know if I have a code. I think I have a code for that. I think it's battle ready if you want a code for that. Basically, I have this mat on my couch, and it's called PEMF, P-E-M-F. It's a PEMF and infrared heat, and also there's like red light photons that shine. So I sit on that whenever I'm on my couch. So either at night if I'm like watching TV, or in the morning when I'm reading my coffee, drinking my coffee and reading, I'll sit on that. So that gets up to like, it can get up really high and to the point where I'm like almost sweating.
Yeah.
So I try not to set it up as high as it goes, but this is going to be something that helps to improve cellular communication and energy production. It reduces your pain, inflammation, and improves tissue healing. It helps with chronic low back pain, and the red light and infrared light heat combo helps to get into the muscles and improve circulation and relaxation.
Very good.
I want to talk about something that you can kind of give us some insight to, something that you did just recently.
What are we going to say? It's been a hot topic.
It is a hot topic. It's my
It
hot
is a hot
topic.
topic. Sure.
We're
Let's
going to make
talk
it a
about
hot
it.
topic.
Let's go.
So you recently embarked on a journey. And I want to know also if it's going to be something that you regularly do.
It's going to be something that I regularly do.
Okay.
Yes.
So one of the things that Molly does well is she asks like random, really good health questions. And so I'm still like pretty surprised every time you text me, because like most people don't text me these questions, but this is why you're on the show, passed the test that you didn't even know you were on. But so the other day, she's like, hey, have you ever done a coffee enema? And I was like, yeah, I used to do them like pretty regularly in the past. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, yeah, I'm like heating up coffee right now. I'm getting ready to do it. And I was like, okay, sweet. Like, tell me the story. Tell me what's going on.
I was already in the middle of it when I asked you.
Yeah.
I had already dove in. So I'm in a lot of different, like, we've talked about the chicken Facebook groups that I'm in. I'm in some other, like, just health, holistic health and healing ones. And a lot of people talk about gut health and the things that can kind of like make their homes in your gut that you don't necessarily want to be there. Stuff like plaque and candida and parasites and stuff like that. And so, like I said, I like to do parasite cleanses a couple times a month. And I've never done a coffee enema, but I've heard they're really beneficial while you're doing that. And it like mycotoxins and stuff also can be removed when you're doing those. And I'm just looking for any way to kind of bolster my health these days, honestly, and especially for the long term. So I decided, after being a little bit afraid of the notion of coffee enemas and seeing people recount their experiences and posting different things that have like come out, like, I don't know how these photos are allowed to be shared on Facebook, but they are very interesting and kind of disgusting. But like, I'm just kind of immune to the poop pictures now. And anyway, so I wanted to do the coffee enema, and I hyped myself up just like you hype yourself up for a cold plunge. And I was like, I'm just going to do this. Like, I really don't think I have anything to be afraid of. I'm going to, take it like little by little and take it easy. And I didn't, I was a little bit more conservative, I think, with it than, and next time maybe I'll be do a little bit more. But I did it, and I really felt a mental clarity like come over me that night and the next day. And so I think it's something that I want to add to my just normal regimen. And that is like a pretty cheap thing that you can do. Yeah. I mean, you just buy the organic coffee, and you can get your stainless steel pot or your, special bag, enema bag, and then you just make a comfy spot. Like you told me to make a comfy spot and put a little pillow down and just say your prayers and go for it. And so I did, and I'm happy I did it. And I learned some things, like you're just going to learn how to do it better next time. So I learned how to do it better next time. But yeah, I've only done one so far, but good results, honestly.
How long did you have the coffee in for?
So I've had a colonic before, so I kind of knew what to expect as far as like sensation. But I wasn't able to keep the first maybe like quarter or third batch of coffee in for as long as I would have hoped. Like that came up pretty quickly. And then the rest of it, like I kept in probably like 10 to, I think 12 minutes. I was watching the clock. I'm like, I'm going to make it to 15 minutes. I think I got to like 12 minutes, maybe 5 minutes the first time, and like 12.
Did you lay on one side versus the other side?
Yeah, I laid on my right side.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what somebody said. Lay on your right side, because the way that your gut is, or your colon is.
Also, coffee enemas are so good for liver detoxification.
Right.
That's even like, yes, you're going to clear your gut out, but what it's doing is the coffee is going in.
Yeah.
For lack of a better like description, through the back door, I guess, and like filtering your liver as it's sitting in there. So the longer you can keep it in, the better. And that's why you lay on one side versus the other. I just couldn't remember which side it was supposed to be on.
I think it's the right.
Yeah. So that it like goes towards that. So
yeah.
Where to get these things? Like you can get them right off of Amazon, right? And what to get. So let's talk like top tier would be like get the stainless steel bucket.
Yeah.
There's even like organic coffee enema coffee that you can get. There's like usually now they have like kits that come with all of it.
Yeah.
The tube, the bucket, and the coffee.
Yeah.
And then the next step down for that would be the plastic see-through bucket. That's what I started with because I didn't understand the concept yet of the BPAs leaching into the coffee. I don't, even if it says BPA free, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because it's like literally sitting in the bucket for a while and it's not super hot, but it's still enough to be effective. However, if you are newer, the clear one would probably be better because then you can see the like liquid going down and know where you're kind of at. I used to like that. Now the one that I have is stainless steel, which I haven't done it in a couple of years, so definitely not an expert on this. And yeah, we can go into like nitty gritty details of how to do it. If you have questions on how to perform a coffee enema, you can maybe direct message us and we'll talk about it. But there's like some things to do. Obviously, like get comfortable and make a little cozy spot. Is the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are some other like off the wall things that are like maybe not necessarily socially accepted or harder to do in life? Maybe like a supplement or just other things to take or all of that.
Well, I mean, in 2020, there was like the great ivermectin debate where people were talking about Joe Rogan taking like horse tranquilizers or something. Like it was really just, it was insane. And now I think there is kind of this like part of the holistic health community that was really like encouraging people to seek it for for treating and stuff. And so after that, I just started learning about more of the positive effects of ivermectin. And so that is something that I think is a little bit more controversial. Like I do take it like a couple times a month for like a week or like 5 days at a time. And I'll do that with like a couple other things. And maybe I'm hyperfixated on the parasite cleanses right now.
Okay.
But I don't think it's just the parasites that are being
Do you have a
evicted.
gut issue?
I have not done blood, like specific blood work or anything like that. But I think I was just thinking about, my whole life of not doing any of these kind of like maintenance things. And now I just have the info. So I want to kind of, just go for it.
Okay.
And I got to say, I've been seeing like good results with this stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So, it's a little bit controversial when you take something that was kind of like really demonized for a while, but is also a Nobel Peace Prize winning drug. Yeah. So it's like,
not to go like too far down the rabbit hole on that whole concept, but there was things that were kind of poo-pooed during that whole season, and even things as simple as like zinc, D3, and vitamin C. Yeah. I know that we were like kind of like kicked off of some things when we started talking about that. So it's okay.
We got to come up with some code
second
words
episode
here.
out of the gate, and she's like getting us banned already. Here we go.
Hey, you told me don't censor. I am not.
No censor. Yeah, you can do what you want. The other thing, I'm gonna go down this road.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so how do you feel about marijuana in a health perspective?
Okay, well, that I do partake, and it's a recreational thing for me sometimes, but it's also like a medicinal thing for me. I know that you've used it for like sleep and stuff like that. I've read some studies about like cancer and THC or just cannabinoids and stuff like that and the positive effects on different diseases. So I don't know a lot about the specific like health positives around marijuana and stuff like that. But I do know that it's like a safer alternative to some other like recreational, like when you talk about like drinking versus, weed and obviously like smoking, maybe not the healthiest way of ingesting marijuana. But no, I'm definitely not a stranger to it.
Yeah, I don't hate marijuana. I also don't love how I feel with it. And that's just a personal thing. Doesn't mean that I have like an issue with it.
No.
I do take some sometimes to sleep at night, depending upon like what it is, but not enough to like feel a high or anything like that.
Right.
And I'm not a huge fan of the gummies because of the dyes that they're putting in there and all the sugar that's laced in there. There are some products that have like pill form that you can take, pills and capsules. Yeah. So it doesn't have all the like added junk that's in there.
Yeah. I'll buy the tinctures sometimes where it's just like glycerin.
I did resin a couple times, and that is like potent.
That's
intense.
Potent. That is.
Yeah, I also like pain-wise. I've had like when my mom's going through her cancer journey and not wanting to take the like heavy opioids and like beyond that, we would like lean more towards let's go get you some weed and do this part. Yep. So I'm a huge fan of that. I know that even people with like severe back pain, neck pain, massive headaches, like if we can get them to switch over to taking some sort of level of marijuana, that it's a game changer for their life. Yeah. 100%. So I don't have any like negative connotations towards it. It's not something that I do on a regular basis, but mostly because I just don't love like recreationally how I feel on it. And I try not to take a lot of things to sleep. It just was a season that I was going through that I like was not sleeping. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take some
Gotta
weed.
sleep. Yeah.
You were talking to me about, do you have anything else you want to add about the weed,
No, I
the
think
weed
you're
story?
spot-
I'm happy in our state, weed is legal.
Yeah.
And so you can just go to the store and like, I've never like dabbled in weed before, like being able to just go to the store and get some. So sometimes I think about like, what would I do if I needed to go find like a drug dealer to like
If all of a sudden it was illegal,
Yeah.
you text me.
like where would I go? Just text Molly, like get it figured out.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Yeah, like
a drug dealer.
I grew up I didn't take drugs. Like I didn't take Tylenol, I didn't take NyQuil, I didn't take like drugs that like medicine.
Yeah.
So I was always so scared, and I think this is the like part of the thing that like saved my life when I was like in party mode. I never took drugs. The biggest thing I've ever done is marijuana.
Yeah.
Because I was just so scared of how my body would react.
Rightfully so.
And not know what to do. So I thankfully like that. The fear of that was more powerful than like the curiosity of what it's going to feel like and what everybody else was experiencing. So
100%.
I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely.
You were talking to me, you listened to a podcast about nicotine. Tell me some stuff.
This isn't a really new topic for me to be researching, but I just listened to a Dave Asprey, and he had some doctor on there who had like 30 years of research on different drugs and pharmaceuticals, and nicotine was one of the things that they were looking at and how it affected cognitive ability, and it was really helping people who were maybe like pre-dementia or like early onset Alzheimer's and even like ALS and Parkinson's. So these like neurologically degenerative diseases and stuff. But then also just talking about people with ADHD and ADD, like who can't really get that sort of just the tunnel vision that they need sometimes to complete a task, and how it can quiet the mind. And the interesting thing they said about nicotine was that it can kind of give you what you need, similar to like what you were just talking about red light, like it'll even you out however your body needs it. So if you need the nicotine, say if you're super ADHD and you're just really like hyped up and you need to calm down, it can kind of being like a calming effect. And then if you are, wanting the kind of like cup of coffee effect, like just the right amount of, not too many milligrams, maybe like 1 to 3 to start, it can kind of just like turn your brain on a little bit, because there are nicotine receptors like in the brain. And so it's interesting.
Nicotinamides?
Yeah, they said something like that. I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
There. But so, yeah, I've been dabbling a little bit in some nicotine gum. I just bought some nicotine patches that I'm going to cut up. Basically, I think they're like 20 milligrams a patch or something. So you cut them up and just put them on your arm and just see how I think brain fog was another thing, like just general like mom brain. Like I saw some moms talking about how great it was for them. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
excited.
we're not necessarily saying like go get a pack of Marlboro Reds and like just start ripping cigs.
This is not
down the
about
road.
cigarettes,
This is
tobacco at all.
Yeah, so there's a difference.
Yeah.
However, we're not shaming you if you are a smoker. Yeah, there's if you are a smoker and like how can you do the healthier version of that if you're not ready to stop smoking? I think there's a brand called American Spirits that is just tobacco and not filled with all the other chemicals. I think some of them even use organic tobacco.
Wow.
That would be the safer option of the things, but it still is smoke being inhaled into your lungs.
Right.
And I'm not here to promote smoking. I'm not, but also like, what's the safer alternative for that if you're not ready to do that? And then, there is alternatives of like gums or patches or things like that. But, you know. Yeah.
It's a new area of interest for me.
Yeah. Molly's going to be just our health guinea pig.
I'm my own guinea pig.
We'll see what happens over here. She can just tell us stories every week and
That's fine.
and add things on. So cool. I is it an older podcast?
It is. It was from 2018.
Yeah, I think I've listened to that back
Yeah.
in the day, and it's a good like opened your mind to like, this isn't, because you're told like all these things about how bad it is for you and how addicting it is. And
exactly.
I think everything in small doses can be at some level good for you.
Totally.
Let's see. Do Do you dabble into like blue light blocking glasses and things like that?
Yeah, I actually have my contacts are blue
Okay.
light blocking. So they are like, if you see them just like in the little water pouch that they come in, they're a little bit like orangey yellow tinted. So it's actually making my eyes look less blue and more green now.
Okay.
Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, that looks different. So yeah, I was researching online and my eye doctor, ordered them in, and it is a big difference. Like if I have one in one eye and one out of the other eye, it's definitely a difference. I have some glasses too that I'll wear sometimes, but I want to get some really deep orange ones for, nighttime driving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
'Cause the bright lights at night are killing me driving.
Tough.
It's crazy. Like they just keep getting worse and
Yeah.
brighter.
I wonder if you have like an astigmatism.
I don't. I've been checked.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
Not. You do.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
It like sucks at night, especially like when I'm super tired.
Right. Yeah.
I have my glasses. I have a couple pairs of glasses that have the blue light lens like you have for your contacts.
Yeah.
So I'll put those on sometimes at night if I can remember to bring them with me, So
Yeah, especially at night.
yeah. I also have heard that wearing them outside isn't necessarily the most effective thing because the rays from the sun are things that you want to get into your eyes. So when that's being blocked, so I try to use my glasses when I'm like, I know I'm going to be inside more than not. Especially, I don't always wear glasses. I do sometimes wear contacts. I need to maybe get some blue light blocking contacts.
And we can talk about the sun in a different episode because
Yes.
that's like, we haven't talked about my theory on the sun. No.
Oh boy, that's going to be a surprise for me. Give me
Yeah.
give me a little teaser.
No, because you said you don't want to wear the red light or the blue light blocking things outside to get the natural rays from the sun. Well, I maybe think that there's something going on with the sun.
I knew it. Okay.
The
Molly is
ultimate-
also
the
our
ultimate
resident
conspiracy.
conspiracy theorist, and
Yeah.
she will go, I have seen things about this. We don't have to dive into it
No,
now.
we're not going
but
to dive into it.
I know what you're talking
So
about.
maybe you really want the blue light blocking when you're looking at the sun.
Okay. I like it. I'm here.
conversation for another day.
I am here for all of it. All right. So have you heard about mouth taping?
Yes.
Do you do it?
I don't, but I always find that when I wake up, my mouth is closed.
Okay.
I sometimes will use the nose strips to make sure your nostrils are like open, but I'm interested in the mouth taping for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
My best friend uses, I don't know if she still does, but we went on a trip and we stayed in the same room and we were getting ready for bed and she's like, we were in she was in her bed, I was in my bed, and she was like, oh shoot, I need to get my mouth tape. And I was like, you're what? She's like, my mouth tape. And I'm like, what do you mean you have mouth tape? And she's like, yeah, I sleep with tape on my mouth.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to help train your body to breathe better through the nose, right?
Yes. And something about your palate and the shape of your jaw changes over time if you're a mouth breather, which
Okay.
is then your myofunctional. There's like so much going on like right here. So I think when your mouth is closed when you're sleeping, from what I've heard, it's just better for the airways.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can go like legit Scotch tape, or there's like companies that are like,
Monetizing
So-
it.
yeah,
You
for
could
sure.
probably just use athletic tape, honestly.
yeah. I have an Aura ring, which I've done a video about that specifically. I have an Aura ring. I do have my Apple Watch. I do like gadgets. I do know about EMF. We will talk about that all as well at some level. I'm also not perfect when it comes to that stuff.
Who would?
But I love tracking my sleep and seeing things. And so I love the Aura ring. There's that. There's the Whoop, I think are the two like top tier sleep trackers, optimizations.
Okay.
I think I just got this Apple Watch. I was using a Garmin before that. This Apple Watch seems to be pretty amazing as well. And I would say like may even not fully need the Aura ring. I think Apple's technology has caught up a little bit to the
Okay.
Aura ring, which they didn't have when I got this. HRV was just coming out, and
What is HRV?
so it's heart rate variability. So it's letting you know how well your body's recovering and healing. And everybody's is different. And so you can't really like compare what your HRV is with somebody else's HRV, because even if you have a low HRV, if that's your like low, if like low is your normal. So it just depends on like some people are way, way high. Some people are small. Like right now mine is super low. And so I'm trying to like get back some healing mechanisms to happen for me. But I do track that. I track my cycle with that and what changes, like my body temperature changes and different things happen.
Yeah.
And so I really like having that.
Very cool.
You talked about Dave Asprey, and he's the bulletproof guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you ever done the bulletproof coffee craze and gone through that whole process?
Yeah, I buy it at your office.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I love bulletproof coffee, but I'm talking about like the oil and butter situation.
Tom, my husband, does it.
Does it?
Yeah,
Cool.
every morning.
Tom doesn't like chickens, but he does like
Coconut
bulletproof
oil
coffee,
or
coconut.
grass-fed butter.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does he blend it
We have just like a bullet. He just pops it in there real
every
quick.
morning?
Pretty much every morning, yeah.
That's
Actually,
his-
every single morning.
How much butter does he put in there?
I think it's like a tablespoon.
Cool.
Maybe more like 1.5 or something like that. We're not afraid of healthy fats in our house, so
Yeah, same.
load
Love
it
it.
up.
Yeah, that's more of like a keto craze. I got really popular during
Yeah.
the keto, like when everybody was wanting to do keto diet.
Yes.
But it is beneficial, like overall.
Yeah.
For that.
I did a little bit of reading on the benefits of like coconut oil and the MCTs on cognitive stuff. So like my dad has Alzheimer's, and I was reading this book. I can't remember the name of the doctor, but she basically had, her husband was early onset Alzheimer's, and he's still progressing in his disease, but she was researching all the things that could possibly help it or slow it down. And coconut oil was like the number one thing, the medium chain triglycerides. Yeah. So she was giving him like a tablespoon at the beginning of the day and a tablespoon at the end of the day. And she saw a lot of these like things kind of reversing. And so she was kind of healing him of this thing that was, you know, some people call it a death sentence, you know. So I think that is something that, you know, kind of gave me a little bit more of a vested interest in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like long term.
Yeah.
For you.
Long-term support. Yeah.
And
I think anytime you look at your family and it, like, again, nothing is a death sentence, especially when you're in the holistic health world. Like you just see so many people curing themselves of things that many doctors would kind of be all doom and gloom about. So yeah, not to say it's a cure all for every single person, but you look at your genetics a little bit, and I haven't gotten tested for some of the things that like my mom has battled cancer off and on. My grandfather, he died of Alzheimer's, and now my dad has it. So obviously, when you have that kind of stuff in your family, I'm not afraid to talk about it because I don't have like the fear around it that I think a lot of people do, which is another huge just like aspect to health is your mindset.
yeah, I think, you know, we can just briefly touch on this. Maybe we can do like almost like a whole episode on this, but like epigenetics. So that's the ability for your body. What's the saying? Genes load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. So there's a way for us to turn our genes on or off.
Right.
So even if you had, like, let's go with the BRCA gene, the breast cancer gene. There's a lot of people that have gone out and gotten tested for that. And if it comes back positive, then they'll go to the lengths of doing like a double mastectomy before they even get cancer because they don't want to have cancer. Which doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get cancer. And there's a whole lot of things to unpack there. And so also like disclaimer, I'm like not shaming anybody who has gone out and done the testing and gotten a mastectomy or like even gotten the testing and like now like identifies as having that. I think that there's a level of how can we be smart with this? Like where's the level of like knowing the knowledge, but also like doing some of the things that you're doing and being an example of like, okay, I know these things run in my family. Also know that there's things I can do to set me up to not have to deal with that.
Yeah, they didn't always run in my family. Like, who's to say that it's not just totally like, you know, the nature versus nurture thing, like what was happening in these people's environments and stuff that was causing these genes to like get turned on. So,
yeah, that's so funny. It's an interesting comment. Like, it doesn't, you know, diabetes runs in my family. Heart disease runs in my family. Heaviness runs in my family. It's like, well, does it? Or if like we stepped back and like put you, like if you came and stayed with me for 5 years, do you think that you would look different than you do now in your family and your tests and labs and things would change? And I really do believe that. Like
100%.
food has something to do with it. Exercise has something to do with it. The stuff that we're talking about here, these biohacking things do have something to do with it. The most important thing is like God put the most amazing healing power in our body. It's there every single second of every single day. Our bodies know how to heal. We're self-healing, self-regulating organisms. what are you doing to your body to interfere with that power?
Yeah.
What are you doing to your body to interfere with that healing system that's already there?
Yeah.
And if you're driving through fast food restaurants, if you're eating out all the time, if you're drinking sodas all day long and not drinking water, like what are the things that you're doing to increase your chances to build disease? And what are the things that you could do to increase the chances of you not building disease?
There you
There's the like flip. And I think that's the takeaway from this episode is like, I'm not telling you to go search out all these gadgets and, create a healing room in your house, but I am telling you like research, like you said earlier, like research and know and understand what these things do. Just because it's a red light doesn't mean that it's a good red light. So make sure that you're reading and knowing what's going on. Just because it's a sauna doesn't mean it's a sauna that you should be using. Just because it's a XYZ, just because whatever, make sure you look at the reviews, make sure you like compare and contrast the two things and kind of go from there. So
yeah, you gotta.
I think we nailed it today
I would say so.
on this one. That one felt like it flew by.
It really did. I want to keep talking.
I think it's been like, you do? What do you want to talk about?
No, I don't know. This is just an interesting, I really like
It's a good little topic.
this topic. And I think I forgot one more gadget that I forgot that I bought this past year was the Healy. Have you heard of the Healy?
No.
It delivers certain frequencies to your body. So there are some, it's kind of like the PEMF.
Okay.
But sort of like a cross between the PEMF and the TENS units. So you can get the one with the electrodes, which is more like a TENS unit where it's like stimulating your muscles like with these certain frequencies. And then there's a device that uses like scalar waves, which is more of like, and it's kind of like a little bit woo-woo, but and like some people will say it's a placebo effect, but when I use it, like I feel great.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to kind of like harmonize the electromagnetic fields around you. I like EMF is like such a
Big
thing
deal.
in my mind all the time. I'm just like, so the Healy has been really cool, a cool little tool that I'll use sometimes.
Maybe we'll do a little EMF episode because that's a whole thing. Like I have stickers on the back of my gadgets.
Do you have one on your phone?
I do have one on my phone.
Yeah.
I have one on iPad, computer. Don't think they have one for watches, but even like my AirPods, I have like a wrap that I put on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, how do you live now and like enjoy these gadgets? But I don't know. There's a fine line of like where do you draw your line on things? So yeah,
Absolutely.
All right, that's all we got for today. We're gonna come back next week and give you a super special topic, and I'm gonna keep you surprised on what it is.
I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah, you're gonna be surprised.
I don't know what
We're gonna have fun with it. So yeah, tune in. Let us know what your favorite biohacking tool is, or something that you do, your routine, and we would love to see maybe some pictures of you doing some things. Just not you doing a coffee enema. You can keep those pictures
Send that
from
to
Molly.
me privately. We'll talk.
Anyway, guys, thanks for coming out here. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay battle ready.